What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Robel and today I'm going to be showing you how I made this 3D carousel glass through effect in After Effects, and I'm going to be walking you through every step, so stay around till the end so you can get all the sauces. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay guys, here I have the main footage that I'm working on. I'm just wiping away the screens 3 times, and I've already prepared also the screenshot that I'm going to use, and I already made them rounded on the edges on Photoshop. Now you can do that yourself, it's really easy to do. And yeah, let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is select them and then import them into my main comp, and as you can see they're quite big. And also I'm going to start off with the Instagram screenshot, and also I'm going to select all of them by control clicking, and then by pressing S I open the scale, and then I'm going to reduce the scale a little bit so that it fits to our video. Somewhere like here would work fine. That's good. And then I'm going to select the first layer, and the first thing we're going to do is animate it depending on the hand gestures. So I'm going to make some markers around the composition where I will use that, make the keyframes on. So you can make a marker by pressing here, and this is the first swipe, and the second swipe somewhere here, and I'm going to also make a marker here, and the third one too, and somewhere here I'll make a marker. And now we have the markers, and we can go ahead and put some keyframes on them. And I'm going to turn on the first layer, and let's start making keyframes. So the first thing here is I'm going to press P here to open the position keyframe, and also by clicking Shift P you can open the opacity. And I'm going to make a keyframe on both of them around the marker, and few frames to the left I'm also going to make a keyframe and also make it a 3D by pressing the 3D button. And I'm going to grab the screenshot and push it to the left. Somewhere here will be okay, and we can adjust it later on more, but somewhere here is okay. And then I'm going to push it on the x-axis to go to the right depending on the hand. And also I'm going to make the opacity to be 0. So if we take a look at it now, it's moving together with the hand gesture, and that looks good. And I'm going to select the keyframes, right click on them in the keyframe assistance, easy is them, and in the speed graph editor I'm going to adjust the speed graph and push it to the left side like this, and it's going to be faster and then slower. And let's take a look at it again. This looks good. Yeah, it's moving together with the hand. And I'm also going to push it a little bit forward just to match it with the hand. Since we put the speed graph, it might mess up some stuff. This looks good, but I'm going to push it a little bit more so that it matches. That's good. Now we will go to the second one, and we're going to push it to the left side. And using the x-axis, I'm going to push it to the left side, and somewhere here will be okay. And also make the opacity to be 0. And a little bit to the left also. After a few frames, I'm going to make a keyframe, just copy the previous ones and then paste it in the line there. And yeah, that would work fine. And let's take a look at it again. It's swiped away, and then as soon as the second swipe starts, it will move the place to the left, and that's good. And the speed graph is going to be the same since we copied it previously. While we're staying on the last keyframe, I'm going to move the other screenshot to the top, and using the pick whip tool, I'm going to attach it to the first layer we just animated. And after that, it's going to follow the same animation flow as the previous one. So just attach it using the pick whip tool, and that's it. And as you can see, it's following the previous layer. So that's good. And also we can adjust it a little bit to match the hand gesture. So I'm going to push it a little bit forward, something like this. and maybe a little bit more. Okay, and maybe from the left side something a little bit like this. Generally I'm just tweaking the keyframes timing so that it just matches with the hand more. And on this new layer we just added on the TikTok screenshot, just press P to open the position keyframe and also Shift T to open the position and opacity keyframe at the same time, and then start making keyframes by clicking on the stopwatch button and then move it a little bit to the left a few frames, and in the exact marker just push using the x-axis, just push it to the left a little bit somewhere here, and also make the opacity to be 0. And let's take a look at it. It's pushing it and then boom, and we can select it, and easy is all the keyframes, and then in the speed graph do the same things like we did before. Adjust it a little bit to match the hand movement, and turn on the other third layer and move it upward, and then let's do the same thing by attaching using the pick whip tool while we are staying in the last keyframe, and also make sure to turn on the 3D layer. So now we just finished animating everything and putting the keyframes on them, but you can further adjust everything to match your hand movements more. And make sure also to turn on the motion blur for each of the layers and also on the composition too, so that we will have a better movement and motion blur to each animation. If you're enjoying this video, consider supporting me on Patreon. You'll get exclusive project files, bonus content, and help me keep creating more videos for you. The link is in the description. And I'm also going to make some rotation keyframes on the last screenshot on the YouTube one. And so I just open up the rotation by pressing R, and you can make a keyframe on the Y rotation on the same keyframe space we made, and then let's make a rotation of, let's say, 2, and let's check it out. So now it's rotating around and it looks good. And also I will add some keyframes on the scale so that as it rotates it can be a little bit bigger and fill our composition at the same time. So make the scale a little bit bigger to something like this, and let's check out the animation. Okay, this looks good, and you can select all the keyframes, easy is them, and also adjust them on the speed graph to do the same kind of flow like the previous ones, like this. And let's check it out again. It looks good. Perfect. Okay, now we've finished with our animation. It looks good. I like it. And the next thing I'm going to do is make the screenshots to have this glass effect. And the first thing we're going to do here is it's going to be different techniques we use for the dark mode and also for the light mode. So let's start with the dark one. And I've already prepared some assets to use glass texture, and this is a glass texture I made in Adobe Firefly, and I created it and I added some just to adjust the contrast level so that the white and black are more visible. And I can make another tutorial on how to make your own assets using AI. If you want, comment down below and I can do it. It's really easy to do. And once I made that and I added the level effect, I'm going to import it here. And I'm going to turn it off for now. And now let's get into making the Instagram one first to have the glass effect. So the first thing I'm going to do is duplicate it by Control D and change the blending mode. If you can't see the blending mode, you can toggle the switches here and change it to screen. And make the bottom layer here adjustment layer by clicking this middle button here, and it will be an adjustment layer. And while you're at the bottom, now we will going to add some effects. For example, let's add a fast radial blur, and we can adjust the blur to as much as we like, something like this, and also make the zoom to be the brightest. Okay, this looks good. And also I'm going to add another effect, compound blur. And in this compound blur, in this blur layer, I'm going to add the glass texture here. And as you can see, the glass texture is visible a little bit, but we can, using the maximum blur, we can adjust how much of the texture we want here. And let's put something like this would be fine. All right. And another effect we're going to add is the magnify. And the magnify is added, and it's now circle, but let's make it a square because our screen is a little bit squarish. And let's increase the size a little bit to something like this. This looks good, but the magnification level, we can adjust it to be something like this. A little subtle magnifying will be nice. And also we can adjust the blur here so that we can know how much we want to see here. So somewhere here is okay. And also we can adjust the blur here and just play around with the numbers till you get the right thing and add more texture to it. That's good. And also the magnification looks good. Okay, so now we just changed it into a glass. It already looks really cool. So this is how you do the glass effect here. And the next thing I'm going to do is for the light one. For the light one, we're going to use a little bit different trick here. Okay, after we duplicate the light layer, this TikTok one, I'm going to change the top layer into screen, and also I'm going to add some effect on the top one, invert one, and I change the invert to lightness, and at the bottom one we will add the same effects we added on the dark theme. So I'm going to copy all of the effects here, copy them and paste it on the bottom at the bottom layer, and make sure you make it an adjustment layer too. And we already have some cool looking thing, but as you can see, our logo and our pictures are inverted, so we can fix that by making a mask. So duplicate the top layer second time and delete the invert and make a mask on the logo and the pictures. So the way we're going to do it is, let me zoom in a little bit, and by selecting the circular mask, you can toggle between the mask by pressing Alt and by clicking, something like this, and make sure you just do this one, something like this, and make sure it's on add, and turn from screen to normal, the mask one, and that's good. And also we're going to mask this part of the image, so toggle again with the rectangle mask, just make sure you add this parts here. Good, this looks cool. And let's go back and watch. Our logo seems to be fine, and as soon as you turn the screen, but at the same time still inverted, and it's because our background has the same, because since it is a screen, let's check, like if we make it a normal, it will be visible, but since it is a screen, it's picking up some colors from this layer. So what we're going to do here is copy both of the mask we made here and go to the bottom layer and paste it. And when you paste the mask, you'll have the mask here, but instead of add, let's make it a subtract. And this way the bottom layer will not have this lights at the bottom, and this looks really cool. That's good. And that's how we do the light one this way. By making a mask, we can get away with it. And the third one is the same thing we did with this, the same thing we did with the first one. So it's really easy to do. So this YouTube one, duplicate it and make the bottom layer an adjustment layer, and then change the blending mode of the top to screen. And also you can take all the effects you added here and then copy it and then paste it into this. It already looks cool, so we can take a look at it again. Okay, this looks really cool. Yeah, I like where this is going. Boom, and then boom. Perfect. So now what's left is making a stroke at the edges of the screens. Okay, and the way we're going to make the stroke is by making a shape layer. and I'm going to select the round rectangle tool, and I'm going to make a shape layer around the screenshot, something like this, and make sure you fit the whole screenshot. And I'm not using any fill on the shape layer, it's just the stroke. And in the shape properties you can reduce the stroke to something like 2, and also you can adjust the roundness of the edges, because our edges are oval. And I just want to zoom in a little bit and then check if okay, this looks good. And once you're happy with the stroke lines, and the next thing I'm going to do is, while selecting the shape layer, if you press P and Shift T, then you can open the position and the opacity of the shape layer. And also we're going to attach it to the Instagram screenshot. So I'm going to also open the position and the opacity while you're on this last keyframe of the Instagram where it's like coming to the middle, and while you're on this exact position, what you're going to do is select the position pick whip tool and attach it to the position of the screenshot, and also the opacity too. And then now we will have the opacity values of this layer to this one, and it will going to match the movement the same together with this. So that's how we will do it, and this works fine. Make a shape layer, another one, and attach it to the other values we have. For example, this one, the TikTok one. So what I'm going to do is duplicate the shape layer, and I'm going to close off this, and in this second layer I'm going to open the position and also the opacity of it, and I'm going to delete this expression here because we no longer want it. We want the expression to be from different sides. So while you're also on the same position on the middle here, I'm going to open the position and also the opacity. Let's try it with this pick whip tool. Okay, this works. As you can see, it's following through. I'm going to take the opacity of this and then attach it to the opacity while I am on this keyframe. And let's check it back again. Now it looks good. It just turns off at the end. As you can see, it's gone. So this works fine and I like it. And the YouTube part is we're going to do exactly the same thing we did here, and I'm going to duplicate this layer, the shape layer, and I'm going to turn this off, the parent link, and also on the position and opacity, and also the rotation, because we use the rotation value too on the y-axis. So I'm going to open each of them, and while selecting the shape layer, I'm going to move it to somewhere here that it fits. Let's zoom in a little bit and adjust the position of the shape. Okay, it kind of looks good. I'm happy with the result. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is, let me zoom out, and I'm going to attach it using the parent whip tool. I'm going to attach it to the YouTube screenshot, and also I'm going to open the rotation of the shape layer and also attach the y-axis value. Now let's delete this. The y-axis value to the y rotation, and also the opacity to the opacity. And the revolution is also working. It's rotating with it, as you can see. Yeah, so I'm happy with the results. And yeah, this is how you add the strokes. Obviously there are many ways to do this, but for me it just works like this, and you can experiment with it too. So this is what I have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed this video and you got some value out of it. And if you do, make sure to like and subscribe. This would mean the world to me. You'll be supporting me in every way possible. So I'll see you guys with another video and with another thing. Till then, bye.